right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. My name is Melinda Eskimo, and I'm excited to be here with you today. I am an associate with Civitas Strategies, and we are here to present this session, which is specifically designed for those of you who are just beginning to explore the idea of starting a home-based childcare business in Texas. Whether you're completely new to the idea or have been thinking about it for a while, this presentation will give you the foundation knowledge you need to understand what's involved. Before we dive into the content, I'd love to get to know who's joined us today. And as you can see on the screen, if you haven't taken a moment already to introduce yourself into the chat, share your name and hometown, which I'm seeing. There's some all different cities. This is going to help us build that sense of community as we go through this journey together. And this is one of the things the network really wants to promote. So over the next hour, we're going to cover the basics of starting your childcare business and point you toward resources for deeper support as you move forward. I want to encourage you to keep your chat open because we'll have several polls and questions throughout the presentation to keep things interactive and make sure this is valuable for you. So I also want to take the moment to introduce my support, who is Vanessa Lumon. She's also here. So she will also, we'll talk about it later, she'll be also covering the Spanish session that we're going to be presenting next Thursday. So if you're a Spanish provider, we've also got that available for you. Okay, so before we get started, I do need to read a disclaimer that this project is supported by the Administration for Children and Families, ACF, of the United States Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $5,378,809, with 100% funded by ACF and HHS. The information contained here has been prepared by Civitas Strategies and is not intended to constitute legal, tax, or financial advice. The Civitas Strategy team has used reasonable efforts in collecting, preparing, and providing this information, but does not guarantee its accuracy, completeness, adequacy, or currency. The publication and distribution of this information are not intended to create, and receipt does not constitute an attorney-client or any other advisory relationship. Reproduction of this information and recording of this content, including the use of AI, are expressly prohibited. Only non-commercial uses of this work are permitted. All right, that's out of the way. So we're starting a childcare business involves multiple complex stages, but we have tried to simplify the process into about 5 manageable phases. So today we'll talk through the understanding your motivation and goals, and we're going to navigate the Texas permit requirements, help you to develop your business and financial foundation, and then create a safe physical environment and establish a realistic timeline with actionable next steps. And then we'll conclude by highlighting available resources and ongoing support to help you succeed in this important venture. Okay, so starting a childcare operation can feel very overwhelming, but success comes from understanding and methodically completing the right foundational steps. So these steps represent the core framework that successful providers use to build sustainable, compliant, and thriving childcare operations. So we want to be an engaging journey that gets you excited about your childcare business. So let's dive in and start building your path to success. We're going to start by understanding where everyone is within the childcare journey. So my support here, Ms. Vanessa, is going to put up a poll, and I'd love for you to participate and just to explain to us or share with us what stage you're in right now. All right, we see people participating. Thank you so much for doing that. Okay, so we can see that. So we have some that are ready to start researching. We have some that have specific questions, and then we have others in the chat, and we'll get to, hopefully we'll get to do some of that at the end. So what does this tell us? Okay, wherever you are in the development of your business, taking the right step is an important one. So today's presentation is designed to meet you wherever you are. For those just exploring, we'll give you a solid foundation. For those ready to research, we'll provide specific actionable steps. And for those with specific questions, feel free to use a chat throughout our time together. Okay. All right, so before diving into the technical aspects of starting a childcare business, it's essential to connect with your deeper motivations and aspirations. These 4 foundational questions serve as your starting point because they help you articulate not just what you want to do, but why you want to do it and how you envision success. Your answers are going to become the cornerstone of every business decision you make, from the type of license you pursue, to the staff you hire, to the policies you implement. Taking time to thoughtfully consider these questions now is going to prevent those costly pivots later. And that's going to ensure that your business truly reflects your personal values and the goals you have professionally. This vision-driven approach it not only creates a more authentic and sustainable business, but it also helps you attract families who share your values, who that'll lead to stronger enrollment, higher retention, and positive word-of-mouth referrals that fuel long-term growth. So let's begin by understanding your personal motivation for starting a childcare business. This is going to guide you in the decisions you make. There's no right or wrong reason, but understanding why helps you make choices that align with your goals. We hear many different motivations: career passion for working with children, wanting work-life balance while staying home with your own kids, seeing a community need for quality care, using your education background, creating the environment you'd want for your children, or building flexible work around your family. Your motivation directly affects your business structure. Want flexibility? Maybe a listed permit for 3 children. You want maximum impact? Consider license for up to 12 children. Your why shapes everything from ages served to your daily schedule. So remember, childcare is both a calling and a business. So your success requires balancing your passion with your proper planning, your financial management, and regulatory compliance. Okay, so now let's go into the various possibilities of how your ideal childcare business might look. When starting a childcare business, the why should align with your personal vision and goals. Your why, which is the deeper reason you're entering this field, will serve as your North Star throughout the decision-making process. Whether you're passionate about early childhood education, you want to fill a gap in your community, or seek or to create a nurturing environment for work families, this foundational motivation will influence every aspect of your business. Understanding your vision upfront prevents those pivots later that I mentioned, and ensures that your business supports both your personal fulfillment and your financial stability or sustainability. So what is your permit type? When you look at your permit type, you choose what directly correlates with how many children you envision serving and fundamentally shapes your business model. A family childcare home typically accommodates 6 to 12 children, and it requires a less startup capital. That makes it ideal for those who want to start small and maintain a home-like atmosphere. Looking at your age groups, you choose to serve those will significantly impact your facility design, your staffing requirements, and daily operations. So infant care requires a 1-to-4 ratio with specialized equipment, but it commands premium pricing, while preschool programs accommodate a 1-to-10 ratio with educational materials. Some providers focus exclusively on school-age care, and they're going to operate before and after school hours only. So consider your personal comfort level. Are you energized by constant infant attention, or do you prefer communicating with independent preschoolers, or your choice affects everything from insurance costs to curriculum development. When you're looking at your schedule, your schedule decisions position you with the childcare market and determine your target demographic. Traditional full-time care, which is 6:30 a.m. to about 6 p.m., serves working parents with predictable revenue, while part-time programs like Mother's Day Out attract stay-at-home parents at higher hourly rates but less guaranteed income. I caught my eye. Miss Gunther has a that Bell Miss Scott is trying to log back in, so we'll keep an eye out for that. Thank you. Oh, okay. All right. So your educational philosophy becomes your program's brand. So it sets you apart from other childcares and defines your unique identity in a highly competitive market. Your philosophy choice affects staff hiring, training costs, and materials, and you want to ensure it aligns with your beliefs about child development. And then your growth aspirations, that's going to influence your initial business model selection and location choices. Your growth timeline affects everything from the initial investment to management structure development. All right. So, what values will guide your business? The ideal childcare environment begins with establishing emotional safety while children feel genuinely loved, respected, and valued. Creating this environment requires intentional practices and trained staff, but that directly impacts business sustainability through increased satisfaction. The ideal childcare environment begins with, I'm sorry, the physical environment should feel like a welcoming second home with comfortable seating, natural lighting, and thoughtful touches that invite exploration and discovery. So having a well-designed learning and play space with accessible materials, that's going to encourage both independent investigation, and then it's going to have collaborative activities that children can work on together. Whether it's a cozy reading nook or you have an outdoor garden area, each space should communicate what children's interests are and value their curiosity. These intentional environment choices become powerful marketing tools that differentiate your program. It's going to justify your premium pricing, and it'll help create lasting impression that drives enrollment and long-term business success. As you begin to establish your childcare business, consider adopting five core values, and that's going to guide your daily operations and long-term success too. So nurturing care should be at the center of everything you do. That means creating that warm, supportive environment where children feel loved and secure throughout their day. Safety and security must be a non-negotiable priority, encompassing everything from childproofing and emergency procedures to background checks and health protocols. When parents trust you with their children, they need absolute confidence that their little ones are protected. Family trust becomes the foundation of your relationships with parents, requiring transparent communication, reliability, and genuine care for each family's unique needs and values. Your commitment to learning will set you apart in the competitive childcare market as well. This means staying current with child development research, pursuing continuing education opportunities, and regularly evaluating and improving your programs and practices. Children grow and learn rapidly, and your approach should involve with the latest understanding of how to support their development. So finally, meeting needs through individualized attention recognizes that every child is unique with different personalities, learning styles, and developmental stages. And you also want to recognize their family backgrounds. So rather than treating all the children the same, in the same way, successful childcare providers adapt their approach to help each child thrive. These values are not only going to guide your business decisions, but they're also going to serve as powerful marketing tools when you're communicating with prospective families about what makes your home childcare special. After all of the questions we asked ourselves, we now have a short mission statement that demonstrates how effective mission development begins. When you take the time to identify fundamental values that resonate with your primary stakeholders, which are your children, your families, and the staff. So the mission was crafted from the multiple viewpoints. It's child-centered, where we say we want a nurturing home away from home, or we want individualized care. It's going to be family focused, where we say families build lasting trust. And then it's outcome oriented, where we say confident, curious, and compassionate individuals. Okay. So that's what we're saying in this statement. I'm going to look at it. So, Little Debbie's Childcare has a mission to create a nurturing home away from home where every child flourishes through individualized care, families build lasting trust, and a commitment to safety, security, and continuous learning. We want to ensure that each child receives the foundation they need to grow into confident, curious, and compassionate individuals. Okay, notice how the language creates emotional resonance and balances idealistic goals with practical considerations like safety and security, which is part of the regulatory compliance portion. It's talking about continuous learning, which is the professional development on your part, and the individualized care, which is a differentiation in the quality. So why does this approach work? Well, each phrase serves a specific purpose without redundancy. It addresses all major stakeholder concerns using vivid, relatable language, and it also provides clear direction for your daily operations. Okay, so what's the takeaway on all of this? So this example shows that effective mission statements don't require complex processes. They need thoughtful consideration of who you serve, what you provide, and the outcomes you seek to achieve. The key is balancing aspiration with authenticity. Okay, it's going to show who you really are. Okay, so the Texas Family Child Care providers must obtain one of 3 specific permits that determine their operational scope and requirements. So, a listed family home permit is the most basic option, while the registered childcare home offers a middle tier. And the licensed childcare home represents the most comprehensive permit type. Each permit type comes with distinct parameters that providers must understand before deciding which path best fits their goals and circumstances. Okay. The key differentiating factors between these permits include capacity limits for the number of children.
Pearson.
Miss Heidi, did you have a question? I'm so sorry. Miss Heidi, did you have a question? Okay. All right, so the key differentiating factors, it's going to include your capacity limits for the number of children you can serve, your minimum age requirements for your owner operator, varying levels of state oversight and inspection protocols, and then different access to state funding programs and resources. So understanding those distinctions, that's very crucial for prospective providers to make an informed decision about which permit type aligns with the business model, your experience level, and the long-term objectives that you have for the Texas childcare industry. When you're starting a family childcare business in Texas, you'll need to choose from 3 different permit types, each with its own capacity limits and requirements. So the listed family home permit is the simplest option that allows you to care for up to 3 unrelated children. You only need to be 18 or older to qualify, and there's very little state oversight with no regular inspections required. The downside is that you won't have access to state programs like the Child Care Food Program or quality rating systems that can provide extra income and support. The registered child care home permit lets you care up for up to 6 children, plus an additional 6 school-aged children. There, you'll need to be at least 21. You'll have to have a high school diploma, and the state will inspect your facility every 1 to 2 years. So the benefit is that you get full access to state programs, and that can provide significant financial help through, say, for instance, food reimbursements or other resources. Now, the licensed child care home permit, that offers capacity at 7 to 12 children. You must be 21 with a high school diploma, plus some child care experience or related background. This option has the most state oversight with yearly inspections, but it also gives you access to all state programs and typically allows you to charge higher rates because parents see the licensing as a mark of quality. Now, keep in mind that you can start with one permit type and upgrade later as your business grows and you gain more experience in the field. Okay, maybe you're thinking, why does Texas require permits for childcare? Okay, well, childcare licensing and registration in Texas serves multiple crucial functions that benefits providers, families, and children alike. The regulatory framework ensures child safety and protection by establishing minimum health and safety standards that all the providers have to meet. It provides quality assurance through baseline requirements for childcare environments while giving families confidence in their childcare choices. Additionally, the system offers legal protection for both providers and families through clear established regulations, and it opens access to valuable state resources, including funding programs and support systems that can significantly enhance both the quality of care and the financial sustainability of childcare operations. The permit process in Texas serves as more than just a regulatory requirement. It creates a structured pathway for providers to demonstrate their genuine commitment to delivering quality childcare services. So, through this process, providers receive ongoing support and oversight designed to help them maintain high standards consistently over time. Additionally, the permitting system connects providers to valuable professional development opportunities and business resources that can enhance both their skills and operational success. So it's important to emphasize to participants, to you all, that obtaining a permit isn't merely about meeting compliance requirements. Rather, it represents joining a professional community of dedicated childcare providers, and you all share a commitment to excellence in early childhood education and care. Okay, so based on what we've covered so far, let's check in where your interest lies. Which permit type sounds most interesting to you right now, or maybe where you are yourself right now in your business? We're going to pull up another poll. Okay. Got it, Miss Vanessa?
I did, Melinda.
Okay.
Is it not? Is it
I'm
not?
not seeing it.
Says a poll has been launched as in this meeting.
Okay, can y'all let us know thumbs up if you're seeing the poll?
Let me try it again.
I might not be able to see it.
Let me try it again.
Oh, there it is. There it goes. Okay.
Okay.
And so we're seeing the poll being answered. And I see in the chat, some of you are registered, but your goal is to be licensed. Also, okay, great. Transitioning to be licensed, good. So this means that you're looking for upward movement. Okay, so everybody has answered the poll. Okay, so remember again, there's no right or wrong answer. The best choice depends on your personal situation and again, your comfort level. So your financial needs, and now we know your long-term goals, right? So if you're registered, you're moving up. So we'll talk more to make the decision as we continue the presentation. All right, so what's next? Okay, so the Texas Child Care Licensing Portal, we're gonna put up a little link in the chat for you. This serves as a user-friendly online platform that streamlines the entire permitting process for you. Within the portal, you'll find an integrated online application system that accommodates all three of the permit types. And that's along with your required forms and your detailed documentation checklist. And to ensure, that's going to ensure that nothing is overlooked during the application process. If you can let me know if you've ever visited this site, you can just put a thumbs up in the chat. If you didn't know this existed, we're happy to be sharing it. The system also facilitates training registration and progress tracking, which coordinates with background check requirements and provides a direct communication channel with your assigned licensing rep. So this centralized approach eliminates much of the paperwork confusion and helps providers navigate the permitting process more efficiently while maintaining clear documentation of their progress at every step. The portal is designed, yeah, so it's really designed to make sure, good, so we see that Anaya has, I hope I'm pronouncing that well, she's visited the site. This is really, just a checklist for everyone. Okay, so, I'm glad that you guys have seen this. Okay, so once you've figured out which permit type works best for you, it's time to walk through the actual licensing process. So there are 8 main steps that you'll need to complete. And while they're pretty similar across all the permit types, there are a few differences depending on which route you choose. So this roadmap is going to help you understand what comes next and what you'll need to do at each step to get your Texas childcare permit up and running. Okay. And when I say permit, it's not, we're also talking about all three of them, right? Okay, just want to make sure. Choose your permit type based on your goals and capacity, which we just discussed, okay? Attend a required orientation. All permit types require this, and you can register for that online. You want to create an online account in the child care licensing portal. Submit your application and required documents and fees. Now, if you're already registered, you know part of this part section. So as you want to progress and move up, you'll just have to do the same. To submit your new application, and you'll have to put your required documents and fees, and then again, complete background checks for all the household members who are 14 and older. All right. And then you have to meet the training requirements. Again, listed homes need no additional training. Registered homes need 24 hours and licensed homes need 30 hours. Okay. Once you pass your home inspection, and that applies to the registered and licensed homes only, then you will receive your final permit and you can begin operations. So the timeline for this process is typically 2 to 4 months, depending on your permit type and how well you prepare. The process isn't complicated, but it does require organization and patience. And the key is staying organized and preparing in advance. So you'll want to start gathering documents and planning your space modifications early. We have detailed guides and coaching available to help you through each step, which I'll tell you more about later. Okay. The best way to get through Texas child care licensing process is to take action by planning ahead. Instead of just jumping in and hoping for the best, successful providers think through their approach and map out what they need to do. So good planning helps you avoid surprises. It gives you enough time to handle each step properly, and it helps you make smart choices that will get your childcare business off to a strong start. Okay, so let's look at that. Okay, so we're moving into making your vision a reality. You've identified your value proposition. Now it's time to make it happen. This is where your vision transforms into concrete, actionable steps that are going to guide you through licensing and beyond. Okay, so some essential planning components for successful providers focus on 4 key areas. Your business planning creates your roadmap for success. Your financial planning helps you understand costs and revenue. Your space planning designs your physical environment. And operational planning establishes daily systems and policies. Okay, so Why does good planning matter? If you plan well, it will reduce startup stress and unexpected costs. It helps to secure funding if needed, and it creates accountability through measurable goals. So most importantly, it's going to position your business for long-term sustainability rather than just surviving the first few months. So to begin the planning process, you want to start with a one-page business plan. And then you can calculate your startup, your operational costs, identify fund sources, and then create a timeline with action steps. Remember, good planning now saves time, money, and headaches later. Okay, creating a written business plan is essential for navigating the early stages of childcare businesses successfully. So your plan should begin with a clear vision statement that captures what you want to achieve, followed by your specific goals broken down into manageable 30-day increments that keep you focused and on track. So use these goals to create a realistic timeline that accounts for licensing requirements and other key milestones. So as far as as part of the process, you'll need to analyze your available funds and draft a comprehensive startup budget that covers everything from licensing fees to equipment and initial operating expenses. This written roadmap is going to help you stay organized. It'll help you make informed decisions, and it'll help you avoid costly mistakes during those critical first months. When you're discussing startup costs, it's important to break down expenses realistically to understand that starting a childcare business doesn't require a massive upfront investment. So here are the typical cost ranges, okay? So for safety equipment, you're looking at anywhere from 100 to 400. You need stuff like baby gates, outlet covers, cabinet locks, and those all can be purchased gradually based on ages served. Then you might need some basic furniture, which is about $300 to $800. You'll need child-sized tables, chairs, storage solutions. Expensive pieces aren't necessary when starting out, so you can hit up the Goodwill. You just want to make sure that it's appropriate for each age group, right? Your learning materials, that can be anywhere from 200 to 500. Toys, books, art supplies. And again, so you can start with basics and build collection over time. Sleep equipment, $200 to $600, and that's like cribs, cots, or mats if you're gonna have older children. And that again needs to vary by age groups and the state requirements. Now your licensing and training, that can be anywhere from 100 to 300, and you're looking at maybe application fees and then any required courses that you might have to take. Okay, and then of course your insurance, that can be 200 to 600 annually. And that is a non-negotiable. You need liability coverage. And that's often less expensive than you would think. So to help providers manage these costs, you want to emphasize money saving strategies. You start with essentials and build inventory gradually. You can purchase used items when safe to do so, like your furniture and books are okay if they're secondhand. And then you want to connect with other providers for bulk purchasing opportunities. And then if you can research available grants and scholarship programs, there might be funding there available for you as well. So this practical approach helps new providers understand that while there are always upfront costs, they can be managed strategically without breaking the bank. To understand startup costs, we want to emphasize that effective budget planning allows you to create a safe, functional childcare space while managing expenses strategically. So it's important to note that the cost estimates provided are general ranges, and that can vary significantly based on factors like regional pricing, quality choices, whether items are purchased new or used, vendor selection, and specific licensing requirements in your area. So it's important to research current prices from multiple suppliers in your region to develop accurate budget projections that reflect your local market conditions and specific needs. You think about it, Houston, it's a big city, you have more options than you would in a smaller town, right? So you have to look and research depending on where you are. As you prepare to open your childcare business, priority level 1 items are absolutely essential and must be in place before you can welcome your first children. You need to invest in safety equipment like the gates, the outlet covers, and locks that I mentioned. The basic furniture includes the tables, chairs, and storage solutions, and sleep equipment. We talked about that. And that all of that can depend on your current setup and specific licensing requirements. Okay, so the foundational investments ensure you can provide a safe, functional environment from day one and that they meet all the regulatory standards for opening. After you've established your essential foundation, priority level 2 items should be added within your first 3 months of operation to enhance the quality and functionality of your childcare environment. So this category includes the additional storage solutions to help you organize your growing inventory, and you want to maintain a clutter-free space, right? So expanding, you might have expanded learning materials and toys, and that's going to help you to provide a variety of age-appropriate activities, any outdoor safety equipment, all of that. If you plan to offer outdoor play, any enhanced cleaning supplies, all of that is going to help you to maintain your sanitation standards. So these investments help you build a more comprehensive and professional childcare setting while spreading costs over time rather than requiring everything up front. I'm one of those people that I want to buy everything up front, which I end up a lot of times having to realize like I didn't need that right away, or I didn't need it at all. So you want to do this gradually as you need it. Once you've established your essential operations and expanded your basic offerings, priority level 3 items can be added to your budget and allows your business to grow. So these enhancements include specialized play equipment, and that could be anywhere from 3 to 1,000, and that can set your program apart. You're looking at outdoor play structures if you have the space and you want to offer enhanced outdoor experiences. If you want to enhance your learning centers, that can be about $200 to $800. And to do that, you'll create more structured and educational environments, and then comfort and convenience items that make daily operations smoother for both you and the children. So these investments represent growth opportunities that can help you differentiate your services and potentially justify the higher rates. But they should only be pursued after you've covered all of the essential needs and have a stable cash flow. Okay, and that could be like, what comes to mind when I say that is like if you want to serve organic meals instead of, the regular snacks. Okay, that's higher price. Okay. Okay, so here's some practical ways. Here's some practical ways to save money as you're getting started. Focus on buying just the essentials first and then add to your inventory as you go. You don't need everything on day one. So look for used items when it's safe to do so, especially like furniture, books, and that can be found in great condition secondhand. Try connecting with other childcare providers in your area to do bulk purchasing together. You can split large order of supplies, and then definitely spend some time looking into grants and scholarship opportunities that might be available through straight programs or local organizations. You'd be surprised what financial help is out there for you as new providers. So once you've established your business and financial foundation, now it's time to design the physical space. And that's going to serve both your children's development needs and your business operations effectively. So your environment will be one of your most important tools for success. Thoughtful planning here pays dividends in smoother daily operations and better outcomes for children in your care. So when you're designing your childcare environment, prioritize safety first by meeting all licensing requirements and going beyond minimum standards where possible. Remember that no other consideration matters if children aren't safe in your care. Focus on functionality by creating spaces that work effectively for different activities and age groups throughout the day. Build in flexibility so areas can serve multiple purposes, like your snack tables that become art stations. And then finally, plan for growth by considering how your space might need to adapt if you expand your enrollment or you change your age groups over time. Your space is ultimately a business tool that should support your daily operations while it's creating a nurturing, developmentally appropriate environment for the children. The right step will reduce your stress, it'll help you to improve your supervision, and it'll help you provide higher quality care more efficiently. Organizing the space effectively is crucial for your smooth daily operations. So create dual function spaces that transition easily between activities. Okay. You might have a welcome area. Your entrance sets the tone. So create a welcoming space with individual cubbies, a secure sign-in station and health check supplies, and a parent information board. For infants, include space for diaper bags. Toddlers need lower hooks they can reach, and preschoolers benefit from labeled cubbies that promote literacy. Design distinct zones while maintaining sight lines for supervision. Create quiet areas for reading, active play spaces for gross motor activities, and then create areas for art. Infants will need soft, washable activity surfaces, and then toddlers require extensive childproofing with appropriately sized furniture. Preschoolers benefit from distinct learning centers like art, dramatic play, and blocks. For your rest area, establish a quiet space for all enrolled children with appropriate spacing between sleeping surfaces. That includes blackout capabilities and individual bedding storage. Infants need separate cribs, meeting safety standards. Toddlers and preschoolers can share rest areas with individual mats. In your eating area, you want to design with easy to clean surfaces, appropriate seating for all ages, and proximity to hand washing facilities. Infants need dedicated feeding areas away from diaper changing. Toddlers require booster seats. Preschoolers can use child-sized tables, and that'll promote their independence. With other considerations, ensure all of your areas are visible for supervision. Consider traffic flow between activities. You want to install child height storage, maximize vertical space, and use clear labeled containers. Don't forget that you have bathroom requirements, right? So check licensing regulations for specific washroom requirements that vary by permit type and your age groups. When we're talking about our outdoor area, well-planned outdoor space supports children's physical development and provides essential fresh air and natural learning opportunities. You want to make sure for safety and security reasons that you install a fencing that meets local height requirements, which is typically 4 to 6 feet with self-closing, self-latching gates that open outward. Conduct daily safety checks of all equipment and services and maintain clear sight lines from multiple vantage points and ensure no climbing opportunities near fence tops. For your play area equipment, create zones for different types of outdoor play, including open areas for running and group games, equipment areas with appropriate fall surfaces, and quiet spaces for nature observation. You can install age-appropriate equipment with proper spacing and maintain 6 feet minimum between structures and 9 feet for swings. Environmental considerations, you want to provide adequate shade through natural or artificial means, covering at least 50% of the outdoor space. Consider drainage and surface materials that accommodate various weather conditions. Include storage for outdoor toys and equipment that protects items for weather while remaining easily accessible. Some other considerations are your zoning and legal considerations. Verify your local zoning, which allows home-based childcare. You want to review your HOA restrictions, plan for family parking needs, and consider neighbor relations and community impact to avoid future conflicts. And then insurance and risk management. Secure comprehensive liability and property insurance coverage, develop emergency preparedness plans, and establish solid documentation and record keeping systems that protect your business and meet regulatory requirements. For your technology and administrative systems, streamline operations with childcare management software for enrollment and billing. You can invest in family communication tools, implement financial tracking for tax preparation, and develop marketing process for consistent enrollment. And then for professional development, stay current. There's so many associations that you can do for training requirements. You can seek networking opportunities with other providers, and then consider business coaching and mentorship, and explore quality improvement programs like the Texas Rising Star to enhance your reputation and your rates. To help you take concrete action, we've broken down the getting started process into manageable timeframes. This 30, 60, 90-day plan provides a structured approach, and that prevents you from feeling overwhelmed while ensuring steady progress toward operating or opening your childcare business. The framework helps you focus on immediate priorities while keeping your long-term goals in sight. In your first 30 days, phase one is planning. You'll research permit requirements for your chosen type, begin financial planning and budget creation, start a safety assessment of your home, and connect with Texas Family Child Care Network. In the next 30 days, phase two is licensing and legal. You'll attend the required orientation session, submit your permit application, begin the background check process, and start your required training if applicable. In the 60 to 90-day phase, which is phase three, is the setup. You'll complete space modifications, purchase essential equipment, finalize your safety features, and develop basic policies and procedures. And then finally, phase four is the launch, which happens about 90 days after. You'll begin marketing to families, opening for enrollment, and start your business. So this timeline is flexible. Some people move faster, others need more time. The key is consistent progress. So don't try to do everything at once. Focus on one phase at a time, and don't hesitate to ask for help along the way. We have coaches specifically available to help you through this process. When you open your childcare business, remember that first impressions matter tremendously and set the tone for your relationships with families. Establish your daily routines from the start to create consistency and predictability for both children and parents. You want to implement your record keeping processes from day one rather than trying to catch up later. And that includes your documentation, your attendance, any incident reports. Check in with families frequently to provide updates about their children's days and ask for weekly feedback to understand what's working well and what you need to adjust. Be prepared to make changes as needed based on this feedback. And then don't hesitate to utilize support available through the FCCN network when challenges arise. Most importantly, remember to take time for yourself, because running a childcare business is demanding and you need to maintain your own well-being to provide quality childcare for others. All right, so now let's talk about the ongoing compliance, because getting your permit is just the beginning. Compliance isn't a one-time thing, it's ongoing, but with good system, it becomes routine. Having organized system from the beginning prevents major headaches later. Your ongoing requirements include keeping records for attendance, enrollment, and the incidents, renewing your training like CPR every 2 years, and annual requirements, getting background checks for new household members, preparing for regular inspections. So you'll need to all of those to maintain enrollment, immunization records. Okay, so all of those documents need to be kept up to date. So we have some tips. Set up your systems from day one. Keep both physical and digital copies and use checklists as reminders, and consider again using childcare management systems. Again, remember that there are support and coaching. We do have that available to help you create systems that work for your situation instead of feeling overwhelmed. So, as you become a member of the network, you can go to the texasfccn.org website, and we are going to have child care management system videos from Brightwheel and Playground available directly for you as providers to access and reference. So this integrated library is going to serve as a convenient, like centralized space where you can go as providers and access professional development content whenever you need some guidance or support. Hold on to that question. Do you see that question, Ms. Vanessa? We'll ask. We'll answer the questions in just a second. Some of the common challenges, because I want you to know you're not alone in having concerns. Every childcare provider has faced these challenges, and the key is knowing that help is available. Okay. The most common challenges include not knowing where to start. So take it one step at a time. Use available resources. Maybe you're feeling overwhelmed by regulations. You can start with basics and get help from experienced providers. If you're worrying about costs, then you can start small and build gradually. To find family, start with your network. Use word of mouth. And then you can join provider groups. And since most successful providers grow through referrals. Remember that the Texas Family Childcare Network and business coaching is going to provide support for all of these. Okay, you don't have to have the answers all right now. The difference between success and staying stuck is taking the step, that first step, despite what you're worried about. Okay, as we wrap up, let's talk about maintaining your momentum. The important thing is to take that first step and then keep taking steps. Establish a short-term goal here within the next 30 days, okay? And that might, if you're already permitted, that might be going to the network or going to the portal and start the process for the next step. Then set a long-term goal for your 6 to 12 months, which could include completing the licensing process or opening your business. Stay motivated throughout the process. Connect with other providers for support and advice. And then you also want to celebrate all those little wins along the way. Rather than waiting for major milestones, keep learning and growing through, your training and your network opportunities. Remember your why, because that's the original reason why you wanted to start your business. Okay, so really quick, we're going to do another poll, and we'll see how well the information we provided has motivated you and where you are in your decision-making process. Are you ready to take the next step? Okay, let's see. Here we go. All right, someone's very excited, super excited. Okay, everybody's there. Yay, so far. Okay, and I know we still have some questions. We still have some questions, and we're going to get to some of those. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Thank you for sharing that information. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about some in case you should need help, right? To start up our micro learning track, those go deeper into each of the topics we covered today. These are shorter focus sessions that let you dive deep into specific areas. We can also have you schedule one-on-one coaching. This is personalized support when you ask questions specific to your situation. You'll get help with applications or work through challenges. And then we want you to join a regional network meeting. And these happen throughout Texas and are great for connecting with other providers in your area. You'll build relationships, share resources, and learn from people who are further along in the process. And then, of course, you want to visit our library. And then we also want you to visit the texasfcscn.org website. Okay, and that QR code is going to, on the screen, is going to take you directly to our website where you can access all of the resources. Now, remember, we want you to register okay? And the information, Ms. Justine, will be on the network. I'm gonna open it up now to questions as we start to see. Can you become, I'm gonna go backwards. So Ms. Justine, the regional network meeting, that'll come up on those dates, and so you can um uh look up when those come up and when you can join. We just have a few more minutes, so we want to make sure we answer all of the questions. Um, can I become a member of FCC without having a permit? Yes. Okay. Um, you can still join it, but if you are in the process of getting it, and that's one of the reasons we want to help you. Okay. Do you need a background check if you're transferring from registered to license? Again,
I got that answer, Melinda, if
okay.
I may interrupt. Yes, so if they are leveling up their permit, they go through the licensing process again. So we were told, though, that if the background check is still valid, they will rerun it, but it shouldn't have a cost associated with it.
Thank you, Ms. Vanessa. Were there any other questions, Ms. Vanessa, that you answered or didn't get to answer or needed? Anybody else have any questions? We'll open it up. You can come off mute as well and share if you don't want to, you want to just talk. Okay. As we wait for more questions, what I do want to share with you is our topics for coaching for the micro learning track. So if these are interesting to you, you can look up one of the tracks, you know, if you want to look at how to utilize technology, how to mitigate business risks. These are all little session tracks that we're calling them micro learning tracks. And then once you're in, and you have an extra question, you're like, okay, wait, I don't know how to, I wanted to do a Google page, but I don't know how to do that. Okay, well then we can set you up for a one-on-one coaching and somebody will help you. Okay. Are there any grants or financial resources that you know of? I don't know within what our scope is within the network, but we definitely might have some stuff coming up. So best bet is to become a member of the network. That way, if anything comes up, you will be one of the first to know. Okay, if anything is coming up with financial funding and stuff like that. Okay, now you're very welcome. We also want to invite you to our next session, okay, which is this session, but in Spanish. So if there is somebody here that, you know, came through it and you know, needed some extra help but because they didn't understand, you can always sign up for the Spanish one. Invite anybody that they didn't want to come and they said, well, I don't feel comfortable in English. We have one same time on Thursday. Ms. Vanessa here will be hosting. I will also be there to assist. We'll also be there. And then we have our next session, which happens, it's called Streamlining Childcare Operations. And that is going to happen on Tuesday, August 26th from 1 to 2 p.m. So put that in your calendar. Make sure that you register. Now, if you aren't a registered member, you cannot attend these other sessions, okay? So I encourage you to go to the website, register. Doesn't cost you anything. So it's always good to be there. And you get to meet people, you get extra help, you can sign up for the micro learning tracks. All of this stuff is free, okay? So you want to make sure and take advantage of that. Now we have one more comment. Also, somebody should have equipment prior to applying for my permit. No, yeah, you can get there's always those phases. Again, we're also going to put this up in on our website so that you can refer back to it for information. And again, go to the portal, look at the information on what you actually need to help you get started. Okay. And here's the contact information. I want to thank you so much for attending our event. We invite you to stay connected with the Texas Family Child Care Network. There's our various channels. If you have any questions, you need additional information, or would like to learn more about our services, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can email texasfccn@civstrat.com. You can phone us at 210-503-8105. visit our website, texasfccn.org. Our team is ready to support you and answer any questions you may have about the Texas Family Child Care Network. Thank you so much for coming. We're glad you all could attend. Look forward to seeing you all.